That was a pizza box. Glad I didn't lick it.
Here's the first taco.
Yum, 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 yum.
Good stuff. I can't imagine what you would imagine two guys are doing sitting by the road in the middle of nowhere. It probably looks like you broke down. The cactus transplants from only a month ago are already growing new pads. Building my desert forest in the most isolated spot in Texas means I shot myself in the foot. I've made the logistics so difficult, and the one thing I need out here more than anything, well, I need water, but beyond that, I need mulch and I need soil amendments. I've spent most of the summer discussing all of the options and how I can improve my speed and efficiency making the desert forest. The best option by far is to grow my own organic material here on the ranch. The only outstanding question, of course, is how am I going to do that? Getting the cactus growing puts me so much further ahead because the cactus isn't just about the cactus, it's all of the different uses that come along with it. You can use prickly pear as living fences. Ranchers in Mexico use propane torches to burn off the spines and feed their cattle. They're living cisterns that share water with local plants. And when I have enough prickly pear, I can use the pads to irrigate trees. You dig a hole, you bury the pads, and then as you're transplanting the tree, they now have a source of water that is underneath the roots. What a huge contrast from 9 months ago. I put 3,500 pads on the ground, and so far, maybe 4 of them are showing new growth. And that growth took 9 months to happen. We put 1,000 cactus pads on the terrace, and we already see cactus pads growing everywhere very quickly. And I only planted this a month ago, and I've already got a huge little pad growing here. But I have so many different ideas about how we can get this cactus growing faster, and I want to do a better job communicating why the cactus, and that's what we're going to do in this episode. What's your preferred pad harvesting method? Are you using the Sawzall or are you using a machete?
Knife machete. And machete with the saw back works really good for getting one
if it's easy
in there.
Yeah.
It's very effective.
I got that bucket for the fruit if we want to bring it. That's probably more realistic. I don't think we need a 5-gallon bucket. We're not getting that much fruit. I want to see if I taste the difference like you do. That huge one laying off to the side looks like
They're almost all a little different.
Ready and delicious. One thing I appreciate about spending time on the Dustups ranch is the seasons. In my professional life, there really isn't a season. It's go, go, go all the time, and sometimes it's hotter, sometimes it's colder outside, but there's not really a rhythm of life. Out here, there's times of year that I'm really looking forward to. It's really nice to see that the beginning of the monsoon is starting when I see the mesquites flowering and setting their pods. If you've never had mesquite flower before, it is delicious. And as the mesquite pods are starting to fall from the trees, we go into tuna season. Tunas are the fruits that the prickly pears set. It's the pear in a prickly pear. And it's nice to spend a little bit of time going around the ranch harvesting what is there because there is food and it is genuinely delicious. What's the verdict?
About the same.
Tart.
It could be that I've just had my limit of tart for the day.
It tasted good to me.
It does taste good. Definitely doesn't taste bad, but closer to a raspberry than a peach, and some of them have been kind of peachy, like a peach strawberry.
Oh, that one's good. Dude, that one's delicious. Goodness gracious, that's so tasty. I think it's also because since I just eat protein when I'm out here for the most part, the second I get any kind of sugar, it's extra welcome.
Good.
I'm just driving all the glochids right in my thumb.
You've got a denser surface on your skin than that fluffy gloved thumb. You should just use your bare thumb.
All right.
I haven't been using the compost toilet. It's just gross, so I've been digging cat holes. Planting cactus seeds.
Planting cactus seeds is what you're doing, Brandon.
See them come out. They're making.
One question I get frequently is what's with the emphasis on cactus? And cactus, in my mind, is risk management. It's the ultimate utility tool. Cactus is not the fastest source of biomass. Even though cactus grows much slower than grass, every herbivore in the Chihuahuan Desert eats grass. But only a tiny little handful of them will attack a prickly pear pad, and especially a healthy prickly pear pad. I can plant the prickly pear pads everywhere I want, anywhere I want, and I don't have to worry about cattle or aoudad or mule deer coming by and eating my hard work. The main difference between the bathtubs and the terrace is that I followed the correct technique. Tiago and Ju showed me that I should stick a pointed shovel in the ground, use it as a pry bar, and then you slide in the cactus with some force. And of course, the other big difference is that these prickly pear are located really close to the drip irrigation system. A water source near the prickly pear pads encourages them to root and start growing. But water here is precious and very finite. We can only bring water to the ranch 550 gallons at a time from a well that's more than 3 miles away. How can I get cactus to grow faster without using so much water? Back in May, I hosted Tiago Barbosa from Syntropic Solutions for a seminar with him in person on the Dustups ranch. One of the best things that came out was a question from Catherine. She watched us establish a vegetation bed where we don't have to plant anything. There's already a white thorn acacia growing here and some cactus pads and a creosote bush. Instead of trying to plant our own seeds, we are focusing on helping the vegetation that's already here with mulch. And we gathered all of that mulch, we loosened the soil, we added some amendments, and of course we put our usual ring of cactus all the way around it. Catherine watched all this and she had a great idea. She's been thinking about cardboard and how to use it as a better material.
All right. Yeah, I was going to plant the cardboard vertically.
Her idea is, what if I soak it in water and put it directly in contact with the prickly pear pads? Catherine emailed me very excited about a month later, showing really impressive progress on establishing her prickly pear pads. And the term that she used was a cardboard cactus taco. You can take this analogy surprisingly far. You wrap a wet piece of cardboard around the actual cactus pad. Ideally, you would add some manure into the cardboard. I really should have put the good horse manure with the straw inside of the taco. I intended to use that pile of horse manure that we brought a month ago and just blanked. And then on top of that, you want some cheese. And the cheese analogy here is cutting grass, because I've come to realize that grass is probably the best mulch that I have available on my ranch for retaining moisture. Hey guys, I'm heading into town and I'm passing through the Silver Spur Ranch. If you have ever thought about buying land in far west Texas, these are the guys that I highly recommend that you go with.
Billy Landeros with Lone Star Investments. We're out here in Silver Spur Ranch, which is located southeast of Sierra Blanca. So to get to this ranch, it's about 11 miles once the asphalt ends to get to the entrance where we're at. And we're about 1.5 miles off the county road. We currently have all these lots available and they're all cut up in 20-acre tracts. Our regular price is $28,800, $229 a month. But if they mention that they got their information from Dustup, we'll give them a discount. So it'll be at $24,800, $199 a month.
Lone Star Investments is the company to go with because they are the most reputable. You get survey stakes, you get legal access to your property. I know those sound like things that you take for granted, and in a sane world you should, but not in the real world. You can buy over the internet. I highly recommend that you actually come out here. Billy is the son of the owner and he's been wonderful. He's been a great host for me, showing me the ranches that are available. There is meaningful water that flows in this area, whether you're looking just for an investment property or you want to come do your own Dustups project. He's the guy that'll give you the tour in person if you want it. Again, make sure to go to lonestarinvestments.com. You can see all the properties for sale. And if you're interested in buying, make sure that you say the code Dustups so that they know where you came from. Saves you on the monthly payment.
Here's some big ones.
Some of them look amazing. I saw it from the road. I mean, look at the size of this one. All right, I think this one's ready to try.
I got a clean one too.
Cheers. It's a lot less tart. Noticeably less tart. And more importantly, bigger. Got a lot more for your effort.
I was impatient. A lot of glockets on my lips.
Oh, that sounds like misery.
Nah, they really don't hurt.
Good stuff.
It's packed full of vitamins and minerals.
Absolutely. What would be funny now is if Homeland Security flew over us again in the helicopter. I can't imagine what you would imagine two guys are doing sitting by the road in the middle of nowhere. It probably looks like you broke down. Instead, I'm eating fruit. I was trying hard to twist, but without yanking, because I don't want to force it and have fruit that isn't really ripe. And I really do think they'll survive, especially when I plant them with the cardboard. I'm feeling pretty optimistic about what Catherine was telling me. But I do agree, this bigger the pad, the more likely it is to do well.
Because it has more water in it.
Exactly.
It'll last longer.
The obvious disadvantage to the cardboard approach is this is taking a labor-intensive process and making it even more labor-intensive. But cutting cardboard is something that I can do at home. I have piles and piles of Amazon boxes, and although those do get recycled, I feel much better about it when I do the recycling myself. I can sit in my garage, pull out a box cutter and cut some strips for cardboard cactus tacos, knowing that that cutting doesn't need to happen on the ranch. I can do that work when I have spare time here in Fort Worth. The type of cardboard is important. There's always the risk of PFAS, which is the forever chemical that is present in cardboard. I don't know this myself, I'm not a chemist, but I've been told that the glossy cardboard is the stuff to avoid. So long as you avoid cardboard with lots of gloss on it or a lot of print on it, you're far more likely to have safe, clean cardboard that you can feel good about using in your garden.
There's a pizza box. Glad I didn't lick it.
Yeah, this ought to be plenty of cardboard.
Rake my teeth off. The camera's on and stuff. I don't eat garbage. That's definitely enough for the pads we have.
Yeah, it is. I just want to set it up there and we can just put a rock on top so it doesn't blow away.
The only ingredients we need is cactus and cardboard.
Oh, I need the machete because I got to cut grass for the tacos. All right, I'll take the bucket. There's no water in the line. Maybe I just want to use the pea water.
Pea water, you might as well use it. Let me get a drink. Get me a drink.
I don't mind. If you're enjoying the Dustups content, after this episode ends, make sure that you click the link in the description. I wanted to share some of the behind the scenes, real life circumstances of being on Dustups, where it's not the usual story format. It's a morning with Sean. What's it like to be on the Dustups ranch and how do you get ready for the day? Again, that'll be available at the end of the episode. Scan the QR code, click the link after this episode finishes.
Sean Smash.
Now you know the real reason I want to do this. It is oddly satisfying. I don't think it needs to marinate overnight, Brandon. This is already soggy on the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah, let's just do it now.
All right. If it's ready, it's ready.
These are ready.
Let's do it.
I think what we'll do is we'll plant them and I'll come back and add the cheese.
Why don't you take a bite? That looks delicious. What's the Spanish word for whenever they eat those?
Oh, nopales? I recently appeared on the Survival Podcast with Jack Spirko, and we had a great conversation. Like many people, he was wondering, what's with the cactus, man? And as we got talking about the virtues of cactus, using it as a living cistern and encouraging plants to share nutrients, and because he knows way more about plants than I do, he started going down the rabbit hole of endophytes.
I'm going to bet 100% bet cactus are endophytic. Some plants form biological associations only with the roots and on the outside, and some plants form biological associations inside, where they literally have biological organisms living inside them, endophytes. From what I know about cactus, it's almost improbable that something that has to survive in that environment would not be an endophytic plant. So now you're supplying those endophytes to that root that you're trying to, I think that might be a real good kicker for you.
Jack's fundamental idea is that I should consider sacrificing some of the prickly pear pads as I establish other pads. Because the biological community is probably inside of the prickly pear, it might make sense to chop it up or to even grind it or blend it so that there's a little bit of jelly that goes in with every single pad. The prickly pear pads can be their own inoculant. Ow.
Rake it. Shave it. Like you're trying to take off a thin slice of your finger. That's how you rake it out.
So with these cardboard cactus tacos, they get planted the same way. You stick the shovel in, you push it forward, and you slide the taco down but behind it, and now you're left with a pad that's maybe 10 or 20% exposed. If you can get microbial life going in the soil as they start not just nutrients, but also the water that's stored in the prickly pear. That water will be in the soil for 2 or 3 years, and the polymers in the cactus pads, they don't just disappear. So those are still in the soil and help grab the water, and it's nice and deep where you want the roots to go find it.
I can tell you I'm glad we're not using the pea water.
Yeah, I've never been so happy a plan fell short. Yeah, that would have been so disgusting. I thought I found peyote, but it's a Turk's head cactus.
Huh.
Here's the first taco.
Yum,
Hi.
yum, yum, yum.
And trying to use what seems to be a reasonable amount, whatever that is. There you go. Because everybody that wants cheese on their tacos wants cheesy tacos. If you're gonna give me cheese, give me cheese.
You ever have a slice of cheese on a taco?
Slice of cheese is okay because the quantity is sufficient, but it's really it's not the volume, it's the surface area. You got to get all that fat on your tongue, and you want it spilling over the side just as you bite in, and you get the salsa and the fat just dripping out.
I like that you're fleshing the metaphor out, but do you want it spilling over the side? Is that what you're talking about here?
No, I was just getting into tacos.
Okay.
I mean, as a good Texan, I could talk about tacos all day long. It is pretty sharp for grass.
Talking about just laying it all across the top.
Yeah.
Does it matter if no sunshine hits the... There's barely any cactus showing.
Yeah, I really do want it this deep, but what I've seen in the dirt bathtubs is the ones that are growing are the ones that are 90% buried.
Okay.
So yeah, in general, I think we want it deeper. It's better just to do the tacos. I could tell just from the way I was knitting the grass.
Why wouldn't we just put a handful of grass in the taco when we stick it in there?
I think that would have been a better way to do it.
We'll do it that way next time.
I think so. Within a couple hours of work, Brandon and I established another 90 feet of prickly pear pads in the ground on the terrace, but these are cardboard cactus tacos. We'll see if they make a difference. Oh man, my hands are killing me.
Are they really, or just demanding your attention?
They're demanding my attention. Just feels like lots of little tingles. Pain pricks. Lots of little pricks. As we wrapped up for the day, we got the normal West Texas monsoon experience, which this year has consisted of me watching my neighbors get rain. In this particular case, you're looking at Mexico get a nice drink of water while I'm baking in the 100+ degree heat. Wishing that water would come my way. So far, we've only had 2 rain events this year. We had one where we got 2/3 of an inch, and a second event where we got 0.48 inches. For the year, we are at 3.03 inches, which is rather sad and very concerning. Although most of Texas is significantly ahead of normal, the Texas Water Development Board has officially categorized my section of Texas as being in severe drought. Severe or extreme, it's the second worst category. I saw another graph from the National Weather Service, and in my area, we have had 10 to 25% of our normal annual rainfall. Although Texas as a state has been very wet this year, my little patch has been bone dry. I have a special bonus episode available for you that is not available on YouTube. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description, and I will see you for more Dustups content. Thank you so much for watching.